Hello, how are you? It's great to have you back. I'm Chloe, I'm an oracle, and I am here with your cosmic energy forecast for the Sagittarius full moon. I am a consulting astrologer, psychic medium, and tarot guide. So I'll be here delivering your messages. It's Gemini season, the sign of the messenger, and yeah, full moon in the opposing sign of Sagittarius, which is always like an interesting axis. I personally have my north and south node there, so I'm always yeah, working to balance that like curiosity and dogma and like student and teacher. Yeah, so it's definitely an important axis for me in my lifetime, in this lifetime anyways. So first, let's talk about the planets a little bit. Then I'm going to pull a few cards for us. I'm actually working with a oracle deck today. I know, shocking, shocking, sissy, shocking. Typically, I work with tarot, but yeah, I've been really getting into this oracle deck lately. I've had it for a few years. It's called Sacred Destiny. It's by Denise Lynn. It is a Hay House deck. So if you want to pick it up, I would suggest doing that during one of their bi-weekly sales. Do not buy a Hay House deck if it's not on sale, people. That is my full moon advice to you always. Okay, so planets. Let's get this started, right? Very much Gemini vibes. Everyone's feeling chatty. We're a few days into Gemini season. Gotta love the yeah, gotta love the collective vibes there. Jupiter's going to be moving into Gemini shortly, so we will have that like amplified. And then, of course, that whole like, yeah, sharing of information, amplification, and like student teacher, learning, taking content in, sharing content as well, too. So it's like a beautiful, beautiful infinity loop. But for now, we have Venus in a conjunction with Jupiter, and that's at the late degrees of Taurus, 29 degrees. I have Chiron at 27 degrees Taurus, so definitely feeling a bit activated by this transit. But Venus, of course, luxury, beauty, but in this case, most importantly, this is going to relate to our values as a collective. And she is in her home sign of Taurus, where she belongs, where she's happy, domicile. So that's very harmonious. And then yeah, Jupiter coming in, just amplifying that energy. So I'm feeling right now as a collective, it's a very, potent time for us to be embodying our values, and that we could be, quite fortunate if we choose to live in alignment with our values at this time. So that's like a really, really sweet message to get for sure. Um, this is all within a couple of degrees of the sun in Gemini. So we do have the sun, shining on that, amplifying that conjunction, that energy there. And then Uranus it's about 6 degrees off. Uranus, we have at 23 degrees Taurus. So it's not a tight conjunction. So it's not going to be as unexpected as we had like earlier in the month, or I guess it was. Yeah, it was 1 month ago when we had the Uranus Jupiter conjunction. So that level of like revolution and unpredictability, it's not going to be like as intense at this moment, but still Uranus is at play. So a gentle revolution, people, or yeah, just more people getting in alignment with living with their values, which is always a good thing. And yeah, Uranus with the unpredictability, I think. Yeah, subtle energy is always fine too. And then of course the moon opposing this whole situation, the moon in Sagittarius. So we have like our conscious and unconscious coming together. Now, the tarot deck I'm going to be working with is the Spring Weight. You may have seen this if you watch the Taurus season collective energy forecast, or the horoscopes for your rising sign for Taurus season. If you haven't seen those, I definitely recommend you check them out for a more personalized, more personalized take on the energy of the month. But this will be the full moon forecast. Then there is the Taurus season forecast, and then there is horoscopes for each rising sign as well too. So make sure you check out all those videos. So the Spring Weight Tarot, this is the Stars edition. So it's a very very, very glittery. You're going to love it. Glittery like my Gemini nails. Yes, yes. So we'll pull a few cards here from the Spring Weight Tarot. And yeah, I'm going to probably pull a card or two from the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck as well, which I have just been loving. And I mean, it's always nice to use the two in conjunction. I think Oracle decks, tarot decks, they're all great tools to have. So, yeah, very much using in conjunction is yeah, is something that I would invite you to consider if that feels good for you right now. Okay, so let's get this going here. But how are you doing? How have you been? Okay, so I do see that, yeah, we are still processing some of the stickiness from Taurus season. Of course, we're like 2 days into Gemini, so I mean, I'm optimistic. I have a lot of 10th house transits happening right now. I have my North Node in the 11th house in Gemini, so I'm going to be seeing that, that activation soon. So, I've got a lot to look forward to right now. But I'm definitely seeing some people are still processing Taurus. And, it kind of makes sense because Taurus is fixed earth. So they can be, sorry, not they. Taurus energy can be quite stagnant, being that it's fixed Earth. So totally makes sense that we're still moving through that. A lot of people were called into presence and embodiment, spending more time in nature, spending time with their animal companion, and really, using food and drinks to ground, but savoring and enjoying those experiences, like really tuning into the five earthly senses. So it's funny, like, yeah, you're not going to be moving so quickly out of that. And I feel like this also came up at the Taurus, um, sorry, at the Gemini energy forecast. And now we're like full moon forecast for Sagittarius, which is in Gemini season. So, like, I just made those videos a few days ago, and it's like, the energy is still similar to what I said it would be 3 days ago. That's why it's so funny doing a full moon forecast just a few days into the sun season change, and like I just did the sun season forecast. So anyway, I keep it real. I keep it real. Okay, so moving on from Taurus season, that is like a slow process, whatever, that's totally fine. There have been like lots of storms going on too, as like Gemini and like mutable air makes itself known, like a lot of like wind and like tree branches and rain and like all that like volatility of nature, which I love and feels so powerful. So I do feel like, yeah, Uranus is making a bit of an appearance here. And then, yeah, of course, we also have this Taurus card in the Five of Pentacles. So not moving on from the Taurus energy just yet, but we do have, yeah, like the new beginning with card 0, the beginning, the end. And this is like very Uranian energy as well, too. Note they have like a little bunny in this deck. See the bunny? Yeah. So it feels very much like, yes, the beginning is coming. We're having new energy, but at the same time we're ending that Taurus season energy too. So I think I don't know, like it is a bit of a like brace yourself for more unpredictable things to unfold. Um there are some pretty big changes astrologically, happening in the next year or so. We're kind of like in between right now. Like, yes, Pluto has moved into Aquarius, but we'll be moving back into Capricorn in the fall before like permanently moving into Aquarius for 19 years, I guess, starting next year. And then we'll have yeah, so like that, as we've already talked about, I've shared a lot about this already. I have a great Instagram post too you can check out. Pluto and Aquarius is, the time for revolution. That's where we had the French Revolution, Haitian Revolution, and American Revolution. And then you always have, yeah, when the people rise up to take their power back, there's always this like cracking down on that by the ruling class, by the oppressive state. So that's, just something to keep in mind, that when you're like, yeah, fighting for your freedom and fighting for liberation, that the ruling class does not want that. So revolution doesn't just yeah, it doesn't just happen. Like people have to, get uncomfortable if they want to move the needle forward. And maybe you don't want to, and that's, not what you're here for. But if you're feeling that call, the stars are aligned to support revolution in the next 20 years. So it's very interesting. And then of course we have Uranus will be moving into Gemini. The last time Uranus was in Gemini, we had World War II. And yeah, Neptune has been in Pisces forever. We'll be moving into Aries. And the last time Neptune was in Aries, that was the US Civil War. So we have some like really big energies at play. We have these generational planets that have been in like earth and water signs are moving into fire and air signs. So as intense as the energy feels now, I don't think that it's going to feel any gentler in the next few years. I believe that it will feel more intense, and we're not going back to how things were before 2020 or before 2018 or before 2016. This energy is just ramping up, and we have yeah, I think in 2026 that's when there's going to be some changes in human design, like in the design type, the people that are born. So like we're told, I don't know a lot about that, but it is fascinating. So if there's any, yeah, like human design thought leaders that you follow, I definitely recommend looking into that. But we are absolutely evolving as a species. And if you are here now during this time, I mean, you're invited to evolve as well. I do think that we're here to, to move the needle forward and not necessarily, regress. And it would be nice if we learned from history and didn't repeat the same mistakes again. Okay, so this Virgo card, of course, mastery, curation. I mean, there's going to be some difficult work. It's going to be hard work. There is no one that I know of that's really talking about how difficult it is to be here right now and to keep going and to stay motivated and stay optimistic, because we can't really afford not to be. We chose to be here at this time, and like, yes, it is exhausting, but when you know better, you do better, and we can't really like unlearn the things we've learned. So very much this invitation into mastery, repetitive work, ritual and routine, right? Like doing what you need to do, but finding the sacred in it and finding the joy in the little things. Really supporting each other, taking care of each other, that type of energy. Yeah, let's see what the Oracle deck has to say. So let me just recap so far. So celestially, we have this opportunity to embody our values at a higher frequency that's being amplified by the sun and Jupiter. And the idea is like, if we stand up for ourselves, if we stand up for our truth, for what we believe in, our values, that we may be fortunate. And that this is all going to be brought to the conscious level. Like people are going to be aware of this amplification of needing to application of being invited into embodying our values, and what that could mean for people, for the earth, for the earth and living creatures, right? So that's very exciting. And then at the same time, we have this like unlimited potential for like creating the future we want, but we have to like work at it, and we have to like practice, and we might not get it right the first time, but like that is okay, because we're going on a journey, building our own future and hopefully not repeating the mistakes of the past. And then there's also a bit of being, like I said, stuck in Taurus season or having difficulty moving through that. But I think as well, it could be, being stuck in the past and having difficulty really like integrating the wisdom of our lessons that we've learned, the past mistakes, and how we want to move forward and not repeating the same things again. Like I think that could be like a deeper message there. Um, I have the Voyage card from the Sacred Destiny, and then I also have the Purity card. So these both feature like living creatures that aren't human. They both have animals on them. There's like some like whales going on here with a full moon in the background, so that's beautiful. And then we have this like snowy looking wolf with like a blue eye and a green eye. So like that's pretty beautiful and unique as well too. So it does remind me a bit of the Fool card. Like that very unique unique beauty, right? And I'm thinking too, yeah, how the Voyage card relates to what we've been talking about, moving on from the past into the present and the future, being present in the present because, this is the only life we know of right now is the one we're living right now. So being here now and finding the joy in it and making the best of it. And at the same time, working towards like a better future for all of us, right? And then of course, like the purity feels like, such divine support that we have at this time, right? Very much like nature is rooting for us not to destroy it. And I wonder too, like, what do our animal companions think of us? Like, they must, I know they're not here for a long time. I mean, they're here for like a good time, but yeah, just like watching all this unfold, what it must be like to be like an animal at this time, or yeah, or to be a plant or some kind of living creature that isn't human, right? So this video is a little bit longer than I thought, so thanks for hanging out with me. If you made it to the end, that is wonderful. I really appreciate it. I do have, as I shared, horoscopes up for your rising sign if you want to check those out. And there's also the collective energy forecast for Gemini season, as we're now only 2 days into Gemini season, and yeah, we're already at the Sagittarius full moon. So there's a few videos that you can check out if you would like to hear a little bit more from me about the current energy. And I'm so glad that you are here. Please feel free to yeah, share this video if it resonated, or if you have any comments. I would always be curious to know your thoughts on the current energy as well, because like I feel it very intensely, but I mean I'm a Pisces moon, so I kind of like feel everything, but I would love to know yeah, what your take on the energy is too, because it's like this time is just so intense and difficult, but there's also so much like beauty and hope and possibility as well too. So yeah, I'm always like recalibrating with how I manage that. So I would love to know if you would like to share. I would love to know how you've been doing as well. Otherwise, have a great day and happy full moon, and I will see you around.